There's nothing like getting a sometimes hint. They reliably provide valuable information that, if you want actual valuable information, you should check a different gossip stone. And in Triforce Blitz, when there aren't enough path hints to fill all the gossip stones, your seed would be filled to the brim with mostly useless sometimes hints. Until now. Introducing Way of the Wanderer, a new hint type to replace sometimes hints. Way of the Wanderer uses the seed's playthrough from the spoiler log to collect a list of major items used to beat the seed. Then, it filters out all items already on a path and chooses randomly from the list of leftover non-path items to place Way of the Wanderer hints. There's no special priority or rules for picking from dungeon or overworld locations. The list might contain useful items, like strength upgrades, hookshots, or bomb bags, but it could also contain less desirable items like wallets, tunics, or the Lens of Truth. Let's take a look at a Triforce Blitz spoiler log. This seed had some pretty short paths. It's a 525 seed with 2 pieces in Ice Cavern, so there's a pretty big overlap. And because there's an overlap, there's a lot of empty slots where we can place Way of the Wanderer hints. Now let's look at the playthrough. Our path takes us into Spirit Temple to get the hover boots that are logically key-locking Rudo's letter in Fire Temple. And to do the Sunblock room, the playthrough collects a bunch of items to satisfy the infamous Spirit Temple key logic. Now let's look at the playthrough location section. This is a new section in the spoiler log. I've marked all of the unhintable or path items in the list so that it's easy to see. Everything else in the list is fair game for a Way of the Wanderer hint. Below the list, I've copied the set of Way of the Wanderer hints that were chosen. There is Desert Colossus for Minuet, Kokiri Forest for Hookshot, Lost Woods for Bow, Cac for Bomb Bag or Strength, and Goron City Double for Strength and Magic. Note that there is an odd number of hints for Goron City, since there's always room for one Way of the Wanderer hint that won't have a duplicate. And while most of the hints point towards useful items, keep in mind that they are ultimately in a chain for 2 Triforce pieces in Ice Caverns, so maybe you should just rush Ice. And to wrap this up, if there are somehow not enough Way of the Wanderer locations to hint, the remaining Gossip Stones will contain the probably useless sometimes hints. So, if you see a sometimes hint, you will at least know that the playthrough is probably very short. Happy blitzing, friends!